Question number 4. Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he continue to stand by all his statements? If so, in what fashion?
Speaker. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, and I didn't realise question time had become Project Runway, but now that the members asked today, I'm wearing a New Zealand designed suit. It's a New Zealand shirt made and designed here, but with 100% Egyptian cotton. It's an Italian tie, and I've got to be honest, I bought the shoes in Paris.
Supplementary.
Order.
Nice to be some, eh?
Order. 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 I don't mind some interjection, but when it's continuous, I'm going to have to deal with it. Ron Mark, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister then, if Minister Collins, when he said, quote, any increase in police would not be made because of Mr Peters' demands, end of quote, following 6 extra police being sent to Kaitaia on a fixed 12-month term. How does he explain this being doubled to 12 in the past 24 hours? Is it coincidence or politically fashionable?
The Right Honourable
Speaker,
Prime Minister.
Police make their own decisions in operational senses of where they send police officers, but all I can say is we don't respond to Mr Peters. What we do is honour our commitments. When we came to office in 2008, there were 8,211 police officers. As of today, the most annual report showed there was 8,899, an increase of 688 police officers.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister. If Minister Collins met with him 2 months ago, as she said this morning, to discuss her concerns over police resources, why have you, Prime Minister, waited until yesterday to announce increased police numbers, or did Winston Peters just jog your mind?
Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
When the government makes an announcement about the increase in number of police officers, it'll do that as a formal announcement with details and specifics around that. I simply made the point when I was asked the question about police numbers that the numbers had gone up under a national-led government, and I was confident over time they'd continue to increase.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, are you listening to the concerns of your ministers, such as the Minister of Police, Minister Collins, or is she simply not briefing you correctly?
The Right Honourable
Speaker,
Prime Minister.
Member has clearly never been in a briefing with Judith Collins if she doesn't think that she'd be briefing me correctly, forcefully, and with all of the attention, care and love that she has for the New Zealand Police Force. But, Mr Speaker, police budgets in annual terms have gone up over $400 million in the time that we have been in office. We've increased both the technology and number of police officers, and I'm confident we'll continue to invest in the police force. And one thing I will say, Mr Speaker, on this side of the House, in good times and in bad, we actually support and back the police officers of New Zealand. That's not always the case on the other side.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister. Who does he agree with? His former Minister of Police and Deputy Prime Minister who said crime is decreasing, New Zealand First who said crime is actually increasing, his current Minister of Police who is now saying police are under-resourced, or is he actually listening to his poll-driven focus groups?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I agree with the Deputy Prime Minister that crime rates are going down because that's a statement of fact. I agree with the Minister of Police when she says that we are investing and will continue to invest and support police officers. I do not agree with Mr Peters when he says the crime rate's going up because he's palpably wrong.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister. Then, Prime Minister, why have you allowed our police per capita ratio in New Zealand to plummet from 1 to 488 when New Zealand First was in coalition government to where it is now at 1 to 526? Why have you allowed it to drop?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, it's true that the ratio has increased slightly and government will be looking at those issues, but I think it's a little simplistic to say it's solely around those ratios because of the increase in technology. We've invested an enormous amount in that area and got the equivalent of, from memory, about 324 additional police officers. I mean, I think it's logical, actually, to ask our police force to use the best technology, provide the capability, and therefore allow them to redeploy themselves and do more on the street. It's not solely just a matter of using old technology and more people on the street. And I think that's a reasonably smart thing. The police would back that.
Question number 5.